here. PSG Talon up against the CTBC Flying Oysters. I think an international fan favorite, perhaps, due to their name.
Yeah. And
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Unique.
I would have to favor PSG in terms of scaling, right? Just how well they play their macro with the Tristana as well.
Yeah, I think scaling is not much of an issue for either team here. I think both of them are going to be completely fine at all stages of this game, especially because there is the setup through Ralph for the Yasuo, so you know at some stage he is going to be able to get onto one of those high priority targets, even if it is just the dismounted Ral, just remounting and knocking up one person. If that one person's a Lucian or a Tristana, I feel pretty good. Trades early, going in favor of the Zeri and the Lulu.
Yeah, Ignite comes out.
Maple just walking down here, though. Does he have rocket jump? He probably does.
Might take a flash here if
he
you rocket
heal
jump.
through. Yeah. Okay, Maple with the early roam. It's going to lose him a little bit of prio in this mid lane, but getting out Shun summoners, both the cleanse and the flash, the heal as well for Sword Art.
And that is not a real recall. I don't think Shun is going to finish that. He actually does just finish his recall. That is going to put CFO's bot lane on the back foot for this entire laning phase.
Maple just gonna rocket jump into lane.
Yeah, it doesn't lose all that much for it. I didn't see if he got XP.
He did, yeah.
For that first minion, but yeah.
He's going to be completely fine. It does, obviously, having the rocket jump as well as coming to lane late mean his lane's going to be a little weaker at the start, but he'll be completely fine as it continues on.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Gory, not just in the laning phase, but later on in the game to deal with the split push pressure that Maple puts on with this Tristana.
Yeah, possibly the best at doing it.
Yeah, he gets so much farm and resources just by sitting in a side lane. PSG plays so well around it as well. Not a massive amount of wave clear. Lucian's going to get a static Shiv. But that's really about it for their wave clear.
And neither team really. Honestly, the wave clear is just in favor of PSG. Rumble can clear a wave with ult. Lucian's going to be fine at just landing the...
Yeah, I mean, Yasuo just has to put it all on the line to clear a wave, essentially. Unless Windwall is up.
Yeah. And there's just no one else, really. Maybe, you know, Empowered Phoenix stance, and then Zeri does a little bit, but to actually really wave clear a Zeri, you kind of have to use that dash, at which point you're going to be awfully vulnerable.
I mean...
Okay, Gory trading very aggressively. This wave is pushing into him. It's kind of a rough lane state for Maple. He would have loved to have been in lane and pushed those first couple of waves and had it bouncing back to him at this stage. It's going to make the lane a lot harder with how it is right now. Not really how the matchup should go, but of course, he did just give his bot such a winning lane after going down the level 1.
Flank by Karsa.
Yeah, flash available for both bot laners of PSG, but Woody maybe just going to be taken out. Does get polymorph, does have flash, but he's not going to be able to use it, and it's going to be left. Karsa finding the angle and finding the kill early on there.
Yeah, I think even without flash on Shun, Woody using flash does not get him out there. So good, really good gank by Karsa. And yeah, we've seen red side bot lane exploited. Karsa perfect timing on that play, and a lot of trading in the mid lane. Junjia has flash up.
Gory does as well. We'll see if he dashes through a minion, he is going to get flashed on by this Maokai, but he won't do that. Junji instead going to come, hit that Bramble Smash and help Maple get this lane in so he can look for a reset. Oh.
Yeah, Maple missing a couple CS there, but he'll just be glad to clear that wave and get out of here. He does have TP up. Gory's going to be recalling after shoving this wave, so he'll be basing with a bit more gold. I'm not sure if you still rush the boots on Yasuo, if that's like a big spike for him these days, or you just go for damage items.
I think the boots still come through. Lower cooldown on the Q always feels nice. You can look for Orlan's a little easier, just due to having knock up more often.
Yeah, he does just get the Zerka Greaves. Looks like he had exactly enough gold for them. And there's probably not a base for Maple that's going to be as impactful. Yeah, just the recurve bow.
He's going to be okay with that, though. Just trying to get to that Kraken and Navori, and he'll be completely fine.
Yeah.
Void Grubs started up here by Karsa.
And
Junjia could look for the dragon, but Karsa's going to be taking just the one for now. Going to go back, take that second.
Yeah, this is risky. He does have mid-prio, but all the prio is going to Aja on this Rumble. That's a very one-sided trade for Gory, who actually lands that Q.
Yeah, bone plating up means it's pretty hard for Tristana to trade back, as well as, of course, win wall. Shun now getting aggressive. Woody going to have to flash away. But Betty, with the fancy footwork, does pick up that kill in return onto Shun. Sword Art now, no summoners available. Is it going to try and land that Glitter Lance onto this Lucian to look for a kill in return? But not able to do so just yet. Heal's going to be able to come through from Woody. And Betty, with that relentless pursuit, tries to pick up the kill, but it's the Nami who eventually gets it.
Yeah, CFO's bot lane, so aggressive all laning phase. Not respecting that their jungler's on the opposite side of the map. Maybe a misread on where the Maokai is, but I mean, Shun lands this really nice Zeri W, so he can't resist going for this trade, and he does almost kill Betty, but Betty dashing out of the Zeri Q. And as well as just split focus, right, from the side of CFO.
Yeah.
Lucian and Nami both low. Sword Art's full HP at the end of that. And yeah, Junjia shows up. Unfortunately, kill goes to Nami, right? But, I mean, that's going to speed up her Imperial mandate. You're not even mad about that.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, if she can get her spikes at similar timings to the Lucian, it makes the combo all that more scary.
Yeah, flash now coming through from Junjia. Knock-up available, but nice flash from Maple is going to make sure he's not going to get hit by that. But now, flash forward from Karsa, and they do manage to get that Yasuo ult in. Buster shot. Going to secure kill number 1 for Maple. It is returned, of course. Sword Art roaming up here on the Lulu. Does find one in response, but definitely a trade that you'd take for PSG, getting the kill onto your mid laner versus the support.
Yeah, and that was kind of a disappointing play from Karsa, just because at the start of this play, Gory had burned two of PSG's flashes without even using his own flash. He just gets out here. He's completely out, and this is such a massive success for CFO. 2 flashes burnt from PSG, but Karsa goes in and uses his own flash. They don't have enough damage to kill the Maokai. Gory ends up losing his flash and dying. So maybe just misjudging the damage they can deal to this Maokai. They didn't take him out in the Yasuo ult, so he comes out and bursts back onto Gory.
Yeah, gets a little bit of health back as well, just for good measure. CS, though, very much in favor of Gory in this mid lane. Of course, it is just sort of due to level 1. Maple never really being able to get control of the wave after helping out his bottom lane.
Yeah, and that resulted in just a way better base for Gory as well.
Yeah.
And was just able to extend a pretty big CS lead, honestly. And if you're worried about this Tristana being a side lane threat, I mean, setting her behind like this is going to have a massive impact. I'm not sure how threatening Yasuo is to the Trist.
Okay, Twisted Advance, and is win wall available here for Gory? It is, but Maple's well within range. And Junjia is going to be CCing up this Yasuo. Maple did get a reset there on the rocket jump. That's a second kill, so the CS lead meaning less and less as Maple's picking up a second kill for himself now. Yeah,
like you predicted, the Maokai is so annoying for this Yasuo. Just point and click CC. Tristana pretty easily able to get over the wind wall as well.
Yeah.
So unless you time it so that it's blocking the Tristana bomb, yeah, they're just going to kill you on repeat like this, especially without your flash.
Now, the fruits of Junjia's labor should be this dragon, with the bot lane and Betty and Woody also roaming up. It should all but confirm it. Karsa's not really going to be able to find a way in here, especially with Gory yet to return to his lane.
Yeah, and you've got to be worried about the state of this game right now. Udyr just going dead even in the top lane. Not going to be as useful as Rumble later into this game. He is just a punching bag for Tristana and Lucian, as well as the Rumble. And then Rumble, on the other hand, is a serious threat. In any game we see him.
Absolutely. We saw him game number 5 last night. Well, not last night. Thursday night. Absolutely dominated Eevee for the laning phase at least. This could be the 6th Void Grubs though picked up here for CFO. Always going to feel pretty good, but not necessarily game ending. They are just going to maybe stick to 4, but it doesn't seem like there's any real need to. Junjia coming over here. There is a smite available, so they should be at least getting 5, and they do. Carson now going to back away and allow Junji to at least get one here. Going to also be the Scuttle Crab or Junji on the Maokai.
Yeah, you still managed to get 5 as CFO. We'll see how impactful it ends up being, as kind of all their lanes are shoved in at the moment. I don't think this Yasuo is ever hitting towers in the side lane later.
I think Maple would have to misplay
Yeah.
a bit egregiously for that. Bubble almost connecting onto Shun there, as seems like Lightning Crash was used. It wasn't going to be getting anything out of PSG. They just run away from it. So definitely power now for PSG in their bottom lane.
Yeah, he gets a decent trade, but Nami can just sustain Betty on the Lucian back up, and pretty favorable for PSG now. If they take any fights around the bot lane, Static Shiv on both ADCs. And, I mean, it's already feeling like Shun is just going to have to 1v9 this game. Yeah.
Arja is, in fact, spitting flames.
So the Udyr was picked into the Rumble, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't look so far like it's having that good of a time.
No, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that Arja's picked up, 200, 300 gold already.
Just from first strike, right?
Yeah.
As well as a plate. Cancels his base to make sure he does get the plate. Isn't going to be missing that tempo, I don't think. He can TP, but he... Well, I mean, Rest doesn't have his TP, so you're fine to just TP and not worry about this dragon.
Yeah, he could just ult the wave as well, and then probably doesn't need to TP.
Yeah.
Looks like he's just going to stay, though. And, yeah, I mean, definitely favouring PSG in the current state of affairs. Obviously, fantastic team fighting for CFO. Can absolutely bring them back. A nice engage from Karsa with the gory follow-up. As well as the later this goes, you start to favour Zeri. There is a bit of lockdown in the Maokai.
Yeah, but you've got a difficult mid-game to get through with the Zeri. Lucian's going to be stronger on 1-2 items.
Yeah.
With the Nami behind him. Up until Zeri gets to like 3-4 items, then she's just one-shotting Maple, Aja, or Betty. Or just about everyone but the Maokai. Has to be really afraid.
Okay. Oh, Rest not getting like the CC immune in time. Does pop the Ghost. Equalizer slowing him up. Nature's Grass comes through too, and that's another kill. This time Arja picking it up. 2-man Q coming through, as it looks like Gory might not be much longer for this world either, and that's a double kill now on RJ on the Rumble. PSG slowly but surely just clawing further and further ahead. 3k almost is the gold lead at only 13 minutes.
Yeah, Gory just walks up, windwalls nothing, and goes down with his top laner. Just
a solidarity.
Yeah, just a solidarity there. It does have his TP to get back to lane, but I don't think this is going to be a very impactful Yasuo game.
Yeah, I think we're not seeing it again. Oh, yeah. Trades bot. It's going to be ults answered for both of these AD carries, both still having flash. Both now are pretty much one shot away from dying to one another. Maple going to have to be flashing away. Gory did have his to follow, but chooses not to.
Yeah, it feels like Junji has been in his lane so often. You just take the flash, you're happy to take that. It's Abyssal Mask first for Udyr. I don't think we've seen that.
Yeah, no.
Kind of surprising, since it is, it's a magic resist shred item, and there's not a whole lot of magic damage coming from his team.
It is very cheap. It is extremely cheap.
Yeah, it's a cheap magic resist item as well.
Yeah.
PSG grab a second dragon and just look in a very dominant position this game. I don't know what the game plan's going to be for CFO. It really does feel like, Shun, please carry us.
Yeah, there's a Knight's Vow for him. Even the Redemption now coming through.
Yeah, I think for now the Knight's Vow is on the Yasuo, but it won't be long before that switch to the Zeri, I think.
Yeah, you can just switch it between whoever you want. One of the luxuries you are given.
What's the cooldown on it? It's not very long.
It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
it's trivial. The cooldown is kind of like you can't switch it 3 times in a team fight.
Junjia going for a steal here.
Yeah, isn't going to be able to get it. Pretty hard to steal objectives against Rel, but they might be able to guard the eye, so...
Yeah, so Herald ends up just being 4 CS for
Karsa's
CFO.
Looking for a way in. Maple's guarding it, though, and as is Junjia. He's going for it now. He is going to be allowed to pick that up.
Yeah, and that is kind of classic PSG. They just make you fight for everything.
Yeah, nothing for free.
Making it very scary even to pick up the Herald Eye. Junjia is like quietly up almost 30 CS on the Maokai out of nowhere.
Yeah, you don't feel too bad, of course. Rel and Maokai pretty...
Yeah, gonna have the same impact.
Yeah, pretty low resource champs.
Oh, but Maokai does get to just stack armor this game. So his gold is going to be a bit more efficient than the Rel.
You kind of feel like maybe Rest needs to go Leandries this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is just disastrous anyway.
I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
just Leandries into full tank. You're always hitting multiple people with it. You have a bit of magic damage, though. You know, Rel does a minuscule amount, but Zeri and Lulu do a reasonable amount of magic damage. Just through, you know, you doing their regular, scheduled, standard Zeri Lulu shenanigans.
Yeah. And, yeah, Rest just kind of been suffering under his tower most of this game. 30 CS lead for Aja.
CFO not going to allow Junjia to just sit there and take their pink ward. Going to miss the stun there. As Junjia is quietly just space gliding on everything. They find the bubble onto Shun, and Twisted Advance is used, but not even going to have to use the clean. Karsa, though, getting very low. Ignite comes down. Redemption now going to be used to top him back up just a little bit, but the culling has taken out half of Shun's HP.
Yeah, and he's not really going to have the lifesteal apart from probably Bloodline and his runes. So has to be a bit careful in the mid lane now.
God.
Uh-oh.
Tidal Wave coming through. Nice wind wall. Going to block it up. And Junjia now polymorphed, and Lightning Crash was used. Nature's Grass coming. There is no wind wall. Already been used. Blocked up, but the equalizer's good. And Karsa's taken out. Betty picking up that one. Cleanse and Flash now popped by Shun as Gory's going to get away on a slither of HP. And as PSG reigning supreme.
Yeah, and as expected, Maples in a side lane takes the first of, I'm assuming, many towers he'll be taking this game.
Teleport
Can Shun actually hold this?
This is Gory coming. Bubble not quite timed well from Woody. And Gory's getting aggressive here onto Junjia. Does land the knockout, but there isn't enough follow-up for him to be confident in going. Maple now roaming down, joining the rest of his team. Perhaps not needing to, but it's here.
Yeah, Rest shows up, but, I mean, he's only built magic resist at this point, so running into a Lucian Tristana, he loses half of his HP immediately. And here PSG just fend off this first engage. It's not even the flash from Betty, just the E to get out of Karsa's flash engage. And once the wind wall goes down, they're just free to Maokai ult and chase this down. Aja, I think a little misaligned on the ult there, but they do end up picking up the kill onto Karsa, who sacrifices himself, just tanks up the Maokai ulti. And yeah, everything going pretty good for PSG. Really just void grubs for CFO.
Yep.
Couple kills.
Now, Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Maple still having his teleport available to himself, so he'll be able to just sit in the side lane. Most likely someone has to answer. It should be Rest just by virtue of having the teleport. That he can join his team if Maple chooses to.
Yeah, he's only got magic resist at the moment and a cloth armor, so it's going to be torture for him against the Tristana.
Rift Shield used, not quite going to break open that mid tower, but it is river priority. Yeah, for CFO. Maple actually recalling. He's looking for a teleport in now. Just going to be teleporting in to a minion on the mid wave. Gory gets smited up. He's going to have to use that wind wall very, very early. And this is a dangerous choke to be fighting up against the Rumble in. Culling comes down. Not really finding all that much value. And Tidal Wave just whiffs completely.
Yeah, HP lead for PSG at the moment. Junjia is chunked out on the Maokai, but still very tanky and able to sustain. And it'll looks like it's just a fight for mid-prio.
Shun, 1 HP. Betty almost having the best of him there. And with that, it doesn't feel like there's any world in which CFO can actively compete for this dragon. Maybe look for the mid-wave and possible tower, but it seems like PSG are onto it. They're just going to send down a couple members pick up the dragon. Maple's going to collect that bot lane, most likely the tower as well. And there is nothing to respond with for CFO.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, you need to just be going for some of these shutdowns on the side of CFO. Just commit everything onto Betty, Rest, or Maple, and get a shutdown onto your Zeri. But they don't really have the tools to do it. You saw Karsa try to flash in that mid-game engage, in that mid-lane engage, and just the Lucian E was enough to save Betty. Tristana pretty hard to lock down too, so kind of just leaves Aja as your target.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary. A lot of melee champs, and this is now a 2-item rumble with the Crypt Bloom completed. Going to have a better time for himself into the Udyr. At the moment, though, it is Maple going head-to-head. Warden's Mail completed, so Rest's going to be taking a little bit less damage from these Tristana auto attacks and abilities, but still pretty safe lane for Maple to sit in.
Yeah, it's safe to say we still don't like any team but PSG picking the Udyr. Rest has not looked impactful at all on this champ.
Yeah.
Losing his lane pretty hard. Maybe the point is it just survives against the Rumble.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that do that. It's always going to be a rough lane. I think it doesn't matter what you pick. But it always feels bad to give RJ something that wins lane, because it just tends to be if he wins lane, then PSG are just a shoo-in to win the game. He's really, really good at converting his lead to the rest of his team. Probably the best top laner at doing so.
Yeah, Evie.
Yeah.
Pretty good at it too.
Yeah, but Evie's pretty inconsistent about it. I think RJ does it 100% of the time. If he gets ahead, his whole team is getting ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, it didn't really feel like PSG needed his help this time. Bot lane was winning. Mid lane with the help of Junjia was winning. And Baron started up very fast Baron for the side of PSG.
Yeah, if Betty's able to get back and hit it. Of course, Maple's going to be doing a bit of damage. Karsa now, they're going to spot it out. Half HP on this Baron. Rest is here. Everyone here for the side of CFO. Ghost now popped for Rest. This Baron is extremely low. And Rel's smite range much higher. Magnet Storm just goes completely wide. You no longer have this Yasuo combo. He gets stunned up there by the sapling, but it's a double kill coming through from RJ. And Maple's going forward. Maple's going to flash, and Maple gets himself the 4th kill of that team fight. Gory doing 0 damage, manages to find 430 as he goes down to RJ. And it's a clean ace with Baron to follow as PSG firmly taking control of the game.
Yeah, that Rumble ulti was just ridiculous. PSG funneled CFO into this Baron choke, and they played so well around the new Baron terrain. Once that Rumble ult came out, the fight was just over. You don't really want to have the smite fight against the Rel. She just does so much damage to the neutral objectives that they just get off the Baron and let CFO walk in and clean them up. I mean, that fight was not even close. It's just this Rumble ult that it ends the team fight the moment it starts, essentially.
Engage as well.
And yeah, it's just doomed from this point. Rest just goes down without a second thought, really. And it's too much for Shun to do in these fights. There's so much damage coming back from PSG.
And Aja just strolls in, finds a Yasuo.
Yeah, and we've talked about PSG being a terrifying team to play against. Even when you're ahead, it can be so difficult to end. When you're behind, it just hasn't felt like there's even a chance for CFO.
Yeah.
Just no mistakes, no overextensions.
PSG are probably the cleanest team at getting ahead and staying ahead, I think, as well. They're other teams in our league. You think of Frank, you think of, honestly, DCG, J-Team, the other teams that made it here into the upper bracket. They are okay at getting ahead through lane.
Yeah, but
they are not very good at maintaining that lead.
Yeah,
they make a lot of mistakes.
They'll give you a kill or something. PSG, these 2 kills that CFO had are from the very start of the game. I think they were just kills traded back.
Yeah, and not a single carry has gone down. Now, Winwall can block out this Nature's Graph. They are going to eventually use it. But the pressure given over. Redemption coming out. Bottom lane tower now being completely destroyed. Flash forward from Carson. They find the knockout, but Gory's not coming. Now he will. Betty should be going down. Teleport coming through now from Maple. It's a 1-for-1, despite it being a 4v5. RJ now arriving to this team fight, and it's reset city for Maple. He absolutely destroys Shun. Shun is hitting him the whole time with the empowerment of Lulu, and finds absolutely nothing. It's a triple kill for Maple. It's the game for PSG. 25 minutes is all they need as they lead the series now 1-0.
Yeah, decent engage on to Betty, getting his flash and still finding the engage from Karsa, but it was Woody with a Nami ult to just completely shut down the follow-up, so it took them a long time to take down this Lucian, and by the time he had got down, the TP from the Rumble came through, and Maple was still untouched, just able to 1v1 Shun